So Jim does, so, I mean, I think in the syllabus, you'll see that he's expecting to get some, you guys will get some homework from me. You're not gonna get any homework from me. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna ask you to do much outside of coming to this class, except read the book, because this class is really geared to this book. Jim's used the book. We'll walk through the syllabus, but this is the 12th edition. Now, I'm going to take a second and just tell you guys a couple of things. I just went to the 12th edition, and I've got the online version, which is really fun. I really like it. I'll be projecting stuff. You guys won't have access to it unless you buy the online version. This is our textbook. You need to buy this textbook. It's in the library. It's on Amazon. Unfortunately, it's a relatively expensive book. I used the 11th edition forever. I've been teaching here 12 years, and I use the 11th edition book forever because you can buy it for 19 bucks used on Amazon, or 35 for, you know. But Jim went to the 12th edition, and I think Patrick did, and then it was pointed out to me that and I would have a 12, and I would, you know, extrapolate what chapter in 11 was the same chapter in 12, and I pretty much figured that it's the same. But when I really got into the 12th edition, I realized that it's not the same. They had added a whole bunch of stuff, and so I'm so sorry, but the textbook required is an expensive textbook. Here's the good news. It's a really good reference book. It's a book that you should have. If you are interested in the construction periods, Modern Carpentry is a book to add to that. And if you can spend the $10 more, and if I didn't miss here, the Goodhart Wilcox the publisher's rep, who I've been dealing with, Peter Martinovich, it's $10 more to add the online version. And then you can pull up, you have flashcards and videos and animation stuff that, well, I'll be able to share with you on the screen and share with you guys when I share my screen, as Zoom people at home. So I think it's worth it. And the 13th edition is now out. We just got it. I haven't taken the wrap off. I just got it here today. So I'll probably start using that maybe sometime next year. Okay, that's my phone number. I'm giving you my phone number for one reason, and that is so you can communicate with me. Simple, right? And so you're going to hear some what I consider to be udisms, right? Just stuff in my 73 years on the planet that have come to be true for me. And so, you know, one of them is communication solves all human problems. Open, honest, respectful, kind communication solves all human problems. So we don't really have a problem to solve, but we, you know, I want to impart information to you all, and I want to do it in a way that's conducive for you getting it, what you can get, what you're able to get, what you want to get. But in order to do that, you got to be here. So you got to show up there, which is why I like to see you guys' faces, even though I can't see you right now. And you got to show up here. And then our communication is going to be good. It's going to be really good. And if you can't show up, now, notice I didn't say if you don't want to show up, because that doesn't matter to me, that you don't want to show up. You've signed, you've taken the class, so you have a prima facie agreement to come to class. And I want to get everyone to raise their hand. Don't raise your hand if you don't plan to do this, but I want you to raise your hand if you can commit to me to come to this class unless something comes up, something that you can't do. Can I get a show of hands that you guys are willing to commit? Okay, so it looks like everybody's willing to commit to me that you'll come to this class, that you'll make every effort to come to the class. And if you can't come in person, that you'll come to it on Zoom. And that, you know, and that there are excuses. There are reasons why you can't come to class. You got asked to work a double shift and you have to do it. You couldn't get here, you got here super late because of the traffic or accident on the freeway. Your wife's having a baby, your grandmother's in the hospital. There's lots of reasons that are that I think are valid. So I will take those reasons, but here's what I'm getting to. What I'm getting to is that it's on you to communicate to me. It's not on me to communicate to you about getting here. It's on you. And so just reversing for just a second back to commitment. So what commitment means is doing it anyway. That's when you commit to me, you're telling me I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it even if I don't want to do it, even if it's inconvenient, even if it's like I'm tired, even if it's like, all those reasons that come up. You're committed to coming here. And if you don't come here, you better have a good reason. Please have a good reason, and you need to communicate it to me. I don't get email on my phone on purpose. I have one of my accounts I can, so I can use my phone for email. But my main email, which are both on here, my utsters@cox.net, that's the email I prefer. That's the one I look at all the time, every day. And then my pipeline email, which I make it a point to look at least once a day when I'm teaching. Those are the least best ways to get me. If you've got time, right? If it's I'm not going to be there today or tomorrow or the next day or something like that, fine, send me an email. If it's today, send me a text or a call to that number and just say, hey, it's me. Tell me your name, though. And I can't make it, tell me the reason, or leave me a message, or text me. Easy to text me. And then you've covered the base. If you don't do that, when you come again and you have it absent with nothing from you, I'm going to jam you up and I'm going to embarrass you in front of your peers. Well, it won't be bad.
Oh, sure.
But seriously, it's a simple thing, right? I mean, I promise, I commit to you that I will be here at 6 o'clock when you show up. I will be here. I promise. It's my commitment to you. And if there's some reason I can't make it, you will know well in advance, unless some absolute emergency happens. We'll see. So that's my commitment to you, among other things. But I got a commitment from you guys. You'll be here. That's cool. That's out of the way. Call me. Call me, please. Can't make it. Text me. Texting is absolutely fine. Our textbook is Modern Carpentry. Mike, can you see this at home? Mike Silva?
Yeah,
Modern Carpentry, and it's the 12th edition. That's pretty important. Get that book, please. Because this whole thing, Jim is teaching the whole thing out of the book. Normally, when I format a class, like my calculating and measuring class, which some of you are in, that class, I'll have handouts. Syllabus handout, which will be separate from my schedule handout. I might not do that this year. This is the first time I've ever not had a handout, because this is available to you on Canvas Online and you can print it out. If you are unable to print it out, or don't want to print out, but if you want to print out and you're unable to print it out, let me know and I'll print a bunch of it. It's easy to do. And you can see me after if you have some problem printing, then I'll print you a syllabus. And you'll have that. And this syllabus is also the schedule. So how many people here have been in construction, have been working in construction?
And landscape.
Landscaping, which is construction. Okay, so it looks like about half of you are working in the trades right now. And then the half that aren't working in the trades right now, do you, any of you like know nothing at all about construction? Nothing at all, just like pretty much, I wonder how that door got hanging. Okay, okay, well, that's good. That's good, because we're gonna, this is basic construction, right? Intro to construction trades, beginning construction trades. So cool. And we're gonna learn about all kinds of stuff. And you're in a great place. You can be, to my way of thinking, you couldn't be in a better place, man. You're young, you're in Santa Barbara, you all appear relatively healthy, you all appear pretty with it. You know, you all have that spark of intelligence in your eyes. you want to, you're here because it seems to me you want to learn or maybe get more involved in the trades or get into the construction trades, which is, hey, welcome to a great life if you get into the construction trades. If you have any affinity for it at all, you can have an unbelievable career in construction without a whole lot of higher education and without a whole lot of wasted time too. I love construction and every aspect of it. And I'll tell you just a little bit about myself. I'm almost 73. I've been retired for 6 years. My company was called and is called UT Construction Inc. And I hope at some point I'll probably pull up the company website and show you some projects. We have time. Of projects I was involved in, but I have been a licensed general contractor since 1981. I was formally trained prior to that as a cabinet maker carpenter. I had formal training, I had book training, I had in-shop stuff, 1,000 hours of training, and I'd worked a couple of shops, and then I got a contractor's license. And my first job was a remodel and addition remodel, and part of the addition part was a new kitchen, and I just didn't like the idea of subbing the cabs, so I rented some shop space and designed cabinets and had the cabinets built the cabinets. I think I built those myself, and then I started incorporating cabinetry with the general contracting to the point where I bought a building in 1988, Goleta, a commercial building, and I had been leasing various shops, two different shops for the last maybe 10 years. Bought the building in 88, so it must have been, yeah, 81 I got a contractor's license. So bought the building in 88, and then had a nice big commercial cabinet shop and offices upstairs. And, but I didn't have a C6, and so I used my B1 to do cabinetry as well as remodeling and finish work and all that stuff. So for some of you that are drawing a blank, which probably most of you are, California contractors are licensed, the contractor state licensed, to enter and engage in any kind of contract work, which means you entered a contract with them and you're just saying, I will do this for this amount of money. You have to be licensed by the state. If you're not, the owner doesn't have to pay you, for one thing. They're not legally bound to pay you if you're not a licensed contractor, which is, and that brings all kinds of other stuff in play. And that's, you know, how enforceable is that and how many people don't get paid? It's all about relationships, but you need a California contractor's license and you need a specific license to do specific things. So my B1 license, it covers me for 3 trades besides 3 related trades. So framing, forming, but not so much cabinet making. And it never was a problem because I had a bona fide contractor's license to enter the contracts with until I was on the board or president of the board of the San Diego Contractors Association. And one more time I was advertising in the directory and somebody said, oh, wow, you can't advertise as a cabinet maker. You can't advertise your cabinet shop without a C6, which is a sub-license that allows you to contract for cabinet making, finish work, and millwork. So I got a C6 sometime 14 years ago. I got a C6. So I retired, sold my company to 2 long-term employees. One guy did it for 34 years. And I retired with a B1 and a C6, and then right at just about 5 years after I sold the company, I got another license because I was a corporation, and if you sell a corporation, it's attached to a contractor's license. The contractor's license goes to the corporation. You can never have it against the corporations. So I had 5 years to come up with a new name style, and I didn't have to take the tests, just had to pay the money and fill out the application. So I got a new contractor's license, B1, C6. And to sell my company, I had to get my cabinet shop foreman to get a C6. And I had to get the guy I wanted to run the work on it in the field to get a B1. And they both did that. And
it worked out great. I left there with 2 boxes, and that was part of my problem. I was trying to figure out how I was ever going to get out of this company with all the stuff that I had. All the trucks and trailers, and wheelbarrows, saws. You know, I got one of my saws cost $55,000, and it's as long as it's real. But that's how I did it. I said, I walked into my office one day, and I got Bruce and Bradley in there, and I said, you guys are fired. You need to find jobs. I said, or find me out. I had a pretty easy plan for them. It was very easy for them to assume the mantle of Rudd Construction, and they did it, and they rebranded, and they're doing really great. Really stoked. So I have been retired for 6 years, and in that 6 years, done a fair amount of traveling. And I've continued to teach here, various incendiary classes. And then I got my license again, and then I met some guy in the golf course who taught me to build a house for him. So I just finished a house for a guy and his wife. And I just finished a design on a Victorian remodel of a Victorian 200 West Victoria, the Spencer House. It's a 1908 Victorian, a bathroom, a kitchen, and that. And really, the house I built was really kind of a dream. Especially because one of my students had a lot of potential, man, and I was able to shape that guy a little bit and get him into the spot because I wanted to take my wife to the Sierras for a couple of weeks at a really critical time to run the job. And then when I came back, I just kept him on the job, and then ultimately he's pretty much finished the job. Although I got the final, and then I just got in place with whole house construction for 120 grand a year. Just like that, right out of the gate, baby, 120 grand a year. That's not bad money. Now he's gonna have to work for it. He's doing this a $10 million project. And it's just drywall, so it's pretty much halfway. You know, a lot of people think, oh, drywall, man, we're on the finish line. No, you're not. You're about halfway. So I am a very experienced general contractor. And I'm gonna just try to give you a bunch of information about all kinds of aspects of the trade. And we're gonna start out slow. We'll start, chapters 1 through whatever in the book. I've got 109 YouTube videos. I guess some of them are Zoom. Probably a bunch of them are Zoom videos, Zoom class videos. But I've got a bunch of videos of job sites and different sub trades and interviewing different subs and talking to them about their jobs. And that's some really cool jobs. So I may be showing some of those as a lab. We'll just see what I mean. Some of the real hands-on lab stuff we'll be able to do is, the tools, going through tools, laser levels, stuff like that. We might be able to do a little framing. We're not gonna be able to do informing or anything like that, but I've got great videos. So I'm gonna try to bring you guys to job sites as much as possible, remotely from here, job sites, and take a look at it. And then we'll try to do some stuff in there as much as we can. This is, like I said, it's the first time I've taught 110, and so I'm kind of learning about it as I go. Brand new.
Hey, Rob.
Yes.
Was that student John? Who you're talking about?
John says right now. Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah. Do you need projects for this class to do?
Why have you got me?
Yeah,
What do you got?
at SUCC's campus for the food pantry garden. Either shade structure or there's a lot of boxes for trees that need to be built.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, we'll talk about it after. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
And it would be tough to build there with a 4-hour lab here because we're going to start losing light. Relatively, it's not it won't be that long. We're going to start losing light. And we don't have to be outside now. Hopefully, the COVID won't get any worse. We'll have to involve me outside and stuff like that. But that reminds me of another thing. So 6 o'clock, right? We start at 6 o'clock. So make every effort to get here at 6 o'clock. You guys are all great. Come late. If you're gonna be late, come. If you're gonna be way late, come. It's way better for you to just show up late than not show up. And if you call me if you're gonna be late. You know, if you're gonna be 5 or 10 minutes late, you're gonna call me or text me. But if you're gonna be way late, you know, just give me a text. Or I know. And, which brings me to what I'm really thinking about, which is, can anybody guess? Because we just talked about the 6 o'clock coming to school.
Oh, you want it to be earlier?
Yeah, you think, you guys want to stay here till 10:05? Raise your hands. How many of you fucking idiots want to stay? Scratch that, unrecord. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Did I say that out loud? So, yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think you guys wanted to stay till 10:05. And I personally don't want to stay till 10:05. I've done this long enough where I find that evening classes, after, I know all of you have had full days, working, going to school, whatever you're doing, it's been a full day. I'm just about willing to bet that none of you stayed on the couch all day today and read. So it's gonna be hard for you to stay awake as it gets later in the evening. And it's gonna be hard for me to keep your attention. And now that we're back in the classroom, I'm not trying to look at, 20 tiles, which is impossible. My eyes are going like that. Now you guys are here. I know who's asleep and who's not asleep. Like we're together now. Yeah, and that goes for you guys too. Which is why I want to see your videos. Okay. Tired, Mike?
A little bit. Had a little bit of a long day.
Yeah. So Mike's had a long day. Mike, tell us, what'd you do?
I poured 2 trucks worth of concrete, but got a second truck pretty late in the day, so it was kind of a mess at first, but got done.
7 yards, 7 yards of truck,
10
yards of truck. So you poured 20 yards of concrete?
20 yards today.
Did you finish it?
Yeah.
Did you, so obviously you floated, did you vibrate it?
No, not really, because all the concrete I do is residential, so it's just mainly pool decks and back patios. So today was just pool deck with 2 sets of stairs, and then basically a upper and a lower patio, and then yeah, that was really it. The only part is the cantilever edge, which is like the inside edge of the pool, right above the tile.
Yeah.
That's what is always kind of a pain in the butt, especially when you get a truck late, because all the cement sitting in the silos is already warm.
Yeah.
So
You can't have that
It goes-
stuff off because you got to strip the forms pretty soon.
yeah, so basically, like our first truck today, we got at 7:30, and the cantilever, which is that inside edge, it's like a foam form.
Yeah.
I waited like an hour and a half probably after before it was ready. And then the second truck, it was like 30 minutes tops. It was all getting stripped, ready to go, and getting hard. And so, yeah, always fun. Always fun.
Yeah, and when concrete goes off, if it goes off before you got a chance to work it, you gotta.
Yeah, no, it just turns into a shit show if it
So-
goes off.
I'm gonna try and, let's see, I'm gonna try to project and then show you guys. What's the best way to do that? Let's see, first off, let's see if I can project here. Okay. All right, what was I gonna project? Oh, yeah. Can you guys see that on Zoom? Mike, can you see hand protection?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you ever hit those lights for me. Sounds like it's doing something, no? Yeah. You just rolling? What's your name? Unbelievable. So let's see, you're Connor Kelly.
Yeah.
So let's see here. So you, like Zoom people can see hand protection and you guys can see hand protection. This is working pretty good so far. So I'll read the first paragraph. And by the way, let me tell you about safety. So I'm huge on safety. I'm bigger on safety than anything else. Safety, man. Safety, safety, safety. Work safe, be safe, think safe, act safe. My definition of safety is you, or in my case, me, being aware of my body, my entire physical being, and its relation to everything else in the universe. So as long as I know where I am, and I know where I am related to all these things that can hurt me, like that, then I'm gonna be safe. As long as I know where that blade is in relation to my hands, I'm gonna be safe. You know, obviously the unspoken is that you don't want to touch things that will hurt you, right? So be safe, be safe, be safe. And because we're so big on safety, and I want you guys to be so protected because construction can be very, very dangerous, is that we're gonna have a safety meeting every week. Before we have class, we're gonna have a safety meeting. We're gonna have a topic, I'm gonna assess the topic, just like if you were on a real job site and you had to have a tailgate safety meeting every 5 working days. Tailgate, it's, you know, if you're working for a general contractor or a licensed contractor and you're not having tailgate safety meetings, they're not keeping up with the current law. And it's been current for a long time. So everybody's got to have workers' comp. If you're a licensed contractor, you have to have workers' compensation. And to keep your workers' compensation insurance alive, and you need to have tailgate safety meetings for your employees. So we're having a tailgate safety meeting. I'll read the introduction. Hand protection. Introduction. Hands are extremely important parts of your body, not only while working, but in your personal life as well. Hands are utilized constantly in many different fields. It can be injured in a variety of ways. It's estimated that injuries to the hands account for 20% of workplace injuries, second only to back injuries. Michael Silva, would you read gloves, please?
Yeah. Gloves.
You okay?
Gloves. Huh?
You see it okay?
Gloves should be kept clean and good condition. They should also be in good. Here, wait, I gotta move the little screens. They should be in good repair and replace, or also be in good repair and replace when damaged. Gloves are required when working around the following: rough surfaces, corrosive chemicals, sharp instruments, other materials that may cause harm. Gloves should not be worn while operating certain machinery because they can be caught and cause injuries to the hand. These machines include, but are not limited to saws, grinders, drills, any machine with rotating parts. Do you mind going down?
Okay, stop.
Oh.
Let's get somebody from in here. Volunteer. Please.
Safe work environment is much easier to maintain when good housekeeping procedures are practiced. The following should be remembered. Work areas should be kept clean and maintained in an orderly fashion. Sharp instruments should be put away properly when not in use. Hands should be thoroughly washed with soap and warm water to eliminate bacteria. Be careful where you want your hands, especially when putting stuff in trash cans.
Yeah, careful where you put your hands, always. All right, Brandon, please, safe work practices.
Safe work practices, rings, watches, and bracelets shall not be worn when working around machinery. Double check to make sure that all guards are in place and secure before operating machinery. Don't try to force the machine to work outside so of its normal function. Guards are placed for your protections. Do not reach through the guards for any reason.
Okay, who's got the dog? Mute yourself, please. Thank you. And then I'll read the conclusion. Hand safety is a very important element to overall workplace safety. These guidelines have been established to ensure the safety of employees. Follow these guidelines and safe work practices will help to ensure a safe work environment. So who wants to comment on that? On the hand safety, anybody?
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Are these bracelets gonna be an issue?
Are they gonna be what?
An issue? It said don't wear
Oh, they
bracelets.
might be, but here's the thing. It's a good question, because I thought of the same thing. I thought of mine. Take my bracelet off. You guys won't be operating the table saw. Nobody will be, but me. And the reason for that is I took the guard off. I find guards on table saws dangerous, and I've been using table saws for a long, long time. And I'm perfectly comfortable around it, knowing where that blade is and not having a guard. But unfortunately, I can't let you guys use it. Everything else is guarded. And any other tool that you use, guards will not be removed, including skill sets. Yes.
Why are the guards dangerous?
Because I want to see that blade, and the guard covers the blade, and I want to see it at all times. And when you're doing smaller stuff, which we do a lot in here, it makes it really difficult to get stuff around the guard. So I don't like them. I find it dangerous. There are people that would argue that, but it's not worth arguing. We don't take guards off ever. I don't recommend that, but I'm telling you that that's why everyone uses that.
Are there any other tools that you take the guards off of, or
None.
just that?
It's the only one.
Okay.
I've never taken the guard off of the other tool.
Yeah.
And I don't peg my skill saws. I don't do any of that stuff. So anybody want to talk about this? Anybody want to comment on it? Tell us about losing their fingers with a table saw or anything like that? Yes,
So are we not gonna be ripping anything?
you guys personally won't be ripping anything, no. No, and really this is a basic construction class. We are gonna cover a whole lot of ground in construction. And we're not gonna be doing a lot of projects. Like for instance, my CT 114 class, my CT 115 class, the beginning finished carpentry and the intermediate finished carpentry / cabinet making, we'll make doors, we have all kinds of projects. It's project centered, really. This is not, it's just too scattershot. Now, Daniel's got a project we may or may not be doing, in a couple of them, and actually one of them. That's the idea. So, anything else you guys want to talk about? Gloves are great too. I like to use gloves, especially when I'm using the table saw. Just be careful, your hands are pretty damn important. I ran this one through the table saw. Right through the middle, went right down to there. There's the scar on that side. But I was looking at my bone and a perfect 1/8 inch saw curve to the tip of the bone. Never forget that. Not something I would recommend anybody go through at all. It really did hurt. So please take care of your hands, okay? Everybody take care of their hands? Good. Now, let's go to.
Hey, Rodney,
Yes.
you're talking about the class timing.
Yeah.
Kind of got off topic. Did you want to start earlier,
No, hell no.
or do you just want to end earlier? I don't know.
I want to start at 6.
Okay.
So I want to start at 6. We're going to start at 6, but we will probably never stay. I mean, it's possible that could happen, but it's not likely. That you guys all get together and jump me in time and make me stay. Probably won't happen.
Will it still be like till 9, or is it just kind of like
It'll be pretty much how I feel. Tonight, we're gonna go early. Because it's the first class, right? We're gonna cover a bunch of stuff, and then we're gonna go pretty early. We'll take a break in about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll come back for maybe another hour, and then we're out. Yeah, but I doubt I'll keep you guys past 9 on any given night. Yeah, believe me, I think I can get my stuff done. Plus, I know I can get my stuff done. Like I said, I just find the attention just starts really to wane. So here's our syllabus. Everybody see that? You guys all see that at home, right? Zoom people see that at home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you can see, and I might go back in there. I've been tweaking this thing as I go and I probably will put my phone number in there. So you guys have my phone number so you can contact me when you have to. But this is accessible to everybody on Canvas. I will try to keep ahead of Canvas, but I probably won't do that good a job. I'll go back in and put the recorded Zoom meetings up. Like, I'd like to, I try to stick around long enough to do it before I go home, but actually this class, they'll be up by Thursday because I'll be back in here to teach a class on Thursday, so I will definitely get the recorded Zoom meeting out if there's something you want to refer to. So those will be up on Canvas. The safety meetings will be on Canvas, and they may not show up until the day before, although I may do a few in advance. It just depends on how much time I give myself to sit and play with the computer and do Canvas. I didn't do Canvas until the pandemic. Yeah, 11 years teaching here, never once did I do Canvas. Never once did I ever want to do Canvas. And now, I'm just so glad you're all back. And I'm really glad we could bring you five along. Really, Zoom is just another component, but it's been good and bad. So this is week 1, and today is down here in the lab. So when you start looking at this thing, Jim's Wednesday will be up on top, which is actually after the fact. This Wednesday, the lab his Wednesday will be down here. So tonight we're going to do orientation. And then I just cut and pasted this in here because this is the only thing I could find that had anything to do with what this class is. Typically in syllabus that's described a little bit better, like my 118 syllabus is described, I think, better. But here it is. We're gonna have orientation tonight, and then we're gonna talk about this class, which is an introduction to a career in building trades. Topics will include safety, planning, foundations, floor framing, wall framing, roof framing, plumbing, electrical, and siding. Those are the things according to I copied this right off the class schedule website that we're going to be talking about. And then really, chapter 1. I'm gonna pull that up. We're gonna go through that after we have a break. Just looking at this, right? We don't have any holidays, so we're straight through 16 weeks. This will tell you about Jim's idea of homework and what the lectures are going to be and when my birthday is. And we may change the schedule based on projects as become available. And it's tough to make this thing any earlier because a lot of people work and they need that time just to get here when they get off work. I'm very sensitive to that. So if you have a work emergency, you need to let me know because that's one of the better excuses. Because I don't want this to interfere with your job. And he's going to do that quiz, that first quiz on chapters 1 through 8. So as you can see, it's really about the book. Like Jim is teaching, so which means my labs will follow suit, hopefully. And so my lab next week will be chapter 2 and review questions 4.2 and orientation to the lab. But it's really going to be I'll confer with Jim and talk to him about what he went over Wednesday, and then we'll try to do a lab that ties into that. And please feel free to communicate with me. So if you've got something to say to me that isn't like going to be late or something like that, some critique, you feel like I've disrespected you somehow, I'm going to tell you an anecdote about that too. Or just something you want to talk to me about, just email me. And then it's nice and private. You can take your time. I taught a class in spring, and it was an accelerated class, and it was called Back to Work. It was a brand new class in the non-credit part, And this class got dreamed up, and it was we took, I think we took 20 people, and you had to commit to coming every day, 5 days a week, 7 hours a day. You had to speak English, not have a job. You got paid $200 a week and $100 per kid, up to 2 kids childcare a week. It's a pretty good deal for people that were looking to, and it was a basic construction class, a lot like this in some ways, a lot like this. Just give them a lot. And really, I had a lot of people that knew nothing, like some females that, barely knew what a screwdriver was. So I really had to start with basic hand tools and then go through the tools and stuff. But part of the agreement they signed, because they signed a contract, was to be on time. So I got into a tirade about being on time. And I rubbed this one guy the wrong way. And he was very vocal about it. And we really got, after like 2 classes, he like ratted me out to my boss and all this stuff. And I was going, you know what, if that guy is not kicked out of the class, I'm not teaching it. And it was just getting crazy. And then I had an epiphany of sorts, and realized that I just didn't need to have my way. I was just stuck in this thing, like I'm the instructor and you got to do what I say. And I tried to see what my teacher, this student, because he's my teacher now, I know he is. When this stuff happens, I know the universe has brought me a teacher to teach me something. So what do I need to learn? And I needed to learn to lighten up, to back off my tirades, and to really, just really lighten up and stop operating like, just because I'm the instructor, I can talk smack to you guys. It's just, I don't get to do that. I'm telling you right now. I might be sarcastic with you, but I have a great sense of humor, and I like to use humor in everything I do. But I was not being very humorous in this tirade. And then it worked out, and then we became really good friends. Francisco and I became really good friends. He came down here, became my videographer, and we just really worked out well. And then about 3 months later, I was in an airplane, and I was flying from Tampa. And I've been on a plane for a couple of hours, masked up. And I suffered through the 3rd tirade of this steward on the PA, just ragging on the whole plane for not wearing masks. Because apparently there was a couple of seats of people that were drunk, and they were very lax with the mask thing. And this guy was saying, and we'll take you off the plane and we'll put you in jail. I mean, it was just like going on the side. And I'm like, wow, God, that sounds a little bit like me. And I just said, basically, like, I'm wearing my mask. Stop getting on my case. Because it wasn't like, hey, you guys, it was like the whole plane. So I thought, God, this is exactly how Francisco and probably a few other people felt. So the reason I brought that up is that if you think I'm inappropriate or disrespectful or something like that, if I'm rubbing you the wrong way, do me the courtesy of tell me. Don't tell me in front of the class, please. Tell me privately, and let's work it out, because I don't have all the answers. I want to get better at everything I do. Now, that's tough. And that's a new way of thinking, because when you get to be my age, you think you know some stuff, right? I've been on the planet a long time. We've been doing it this way for a long time. This is the way we do it. I'm not, it's like, I don't want to be that guy. I want to keep it fresh and real. And it's one of the reasons why, because I'm not here because I need money. I'm not teaching because it's a really lucrative job and it's something that really making bank. I'm not at all. What I am doing is I'm staying active and involved, and I'm staying active and involved in people's lives like you guys, which are all a bunch younger than me. So I've got this fresh, young energy and young minds, and that's the juice for me. You guys really, I'm here for you, and I think I can facilitate you and your knowledge of construction, because I have so much knowledge about construction without, blowing smoke. I forgot more than most people will ever know about construction, just because I'm so old and I've done it so long, and I've done every facet of it. So that having been said, we're gonna take a break. It's, I got 5 after on my watch. We got 6 after here. We're gonna take a 15-minute break or thereabouts. So come back at 22. 22 will restart, and I'm gonna put this on break and stop recording. And you guys come back at 22, okay? Mike and Brandon, and let's see who I got there.
Yes.
What did I do?
Yeah, I took the bus. You?
Brandon, where are you? You there? Come on, Brandon, come back.
I'm here.
Ah, boy. Thank you for being here. What am I doing? Okay. Now I know. I took those pictures, by the way. It's Pebble Beach, actually. Pebble Beach is right around the corner. It's Monterey. 17-mile drive. So Carpenter's Workplace is chapter 1. And if you have a book, this is exactly what you're going to see. Good lights for me, for me. Thank you. The Carpenter's Workplace. So in reading that book, there's the learning objectives. After you study that chapter, you'll be able to cite the projected demand for carpenters in the coming years. That's good. We'll be able to list the possibilities, job possibilities for the trained carpenter, describe the sequence of carpentry training and apprenticeship, discuss abilities and characteristics needed by those in the carpentry field, discuss the qualities, describe the qualities an employer's value in an entry-level carpenter, describe the advantages and disadvantages of being an entrepreneur, and list other occupations that are in carpentry. So if you had to say, does anybody know how to make this full screen?
Command up,
Say again?
command up.
Command up. So is it Shift F?
Command F.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
on a Windows, not a Mac, so there's no command key.
Oh,
Yeah, there's no.
You might be able to press the 4th button, like you see
Oh, yeah, on the left.
the left-hand
F4?
side. I think it's the 4th one.
See that little arrow?
Right here?
No, no, up.
That one?
On the actual.
Could we come up here? Point.
Yeah.
Come up here and point.
No.
Where at? What is it?
Oh, the plus button.
Oh, yeah, just the next page.
I think that's just a zoom.
Next page. There's got to be a way. Anybody else got any suggestions? Activate read speaker, no.
Your guess is as good as ours.
All right, I'm gonna find out, but stopping for just a second. Raise your hand and answer this question. What do you think are the best things, or what do you think, what's the best things, couple of things, one thing or two things that you can bring to a job interview for an entry-level position? What do you think employers are looking for? What's the thing you want to be able to bring an employer? You want to bring some employers looking for, right? What do you think that is? What do you think that if you could make it the most important thing, what would it be?
Show up on time.
Okay, showing up on time is really, really super important. What else?
Attitude.
What else? Having a good personality, being friendly. I like that. It's a really good thing to bring.
Experience,
Experience is excellent.
work ethic or attention to detail.
A plus. What else? What else? I'd be writing these down, but I'm not. What else? Okay. All of those are really good things. The thing that trumps everything is a good attitude. And that rolls all that stuff in. A good attitude, man. You show up with a good attitude, that means you're showing up on time. That means you're showing up with a lot of willingness. You're polite. You've got a good attitude. You want to work. What do I do now? You're clean. You're clean. You present well. You have clean clothes, right? All that stuff. Because really, in my career, I have employed literally thousands of people, not hundreds, thousands of people. That's including subcontractors. So the employees directly under me in the hundreds of people, but I like to get them brand new. So there's a big demand for people with experience. There's an obvious where that demand comes from. But really, I like to hire entry-level people that know nothing. The less, the better. Just looking for that good attitude. Because the less you know about somebody else's way of doing it, the less I got to retrain you. Because we don't want you to do it anybody's way but ours. So if you go to work for a guy like me, a contractor, we're going to want you to do it our way. We want you to learn how we do things. And so when you're entry level, you want to come with as blank a slate as possible. Yeah, having some tools, having a really good work ethic, showing up on time, being clean, having some experience is great. That's entry level, right? And then as you gain skills, you also gain tools, because skills and tools are what you need to make more money in construction. Skills and tools. So you got a guy that knows how to do everything, and he shows up on your job site and doesn't have a truck and tool one. Are you going to hire him for $50 an hour? No, but that guy that knows what that guy knows shows up with a truck and tools, you are going to hire him for $50 an hour. Even though he's got the same skills, he just doesn't have the tools, doesn't have a truck. So you'll make more as you learn more, and then you'll get more tools, because we all want you to have your own tools. And you want to have your own tools too. That's, except for the big ones, like stationary power tools. We provide those. We being us contractors. What's this guy doing? Can you tell? It's like he's casing a door. That's what it looks like to me. Okay, so so you'll be able to do all those things, and we have technical terms here: journeyman, estimator, apprenticeship, manual dexterity, sexual harassment. Okay, self-employment, Skills USA. I don't know what that is. Carpenter's a rewarding career. I couldn't agree more. It's a trade that requires the development of manual skills. These skills involve both thinking and doing. So here's another audism for you. If you can draw it, you can build it. So I encourage you to learn how to draw. And so we probably won't do that in this class, but in any of my other classes, I might do it in calculating measuring. I might just do that. But in 114 and 115, I require you to sort of a 1/4-inch graph paper. Well, here's what I require you to show up with. Quarter-inch graph paper, right? Quarter-inch squares. It should have your logo. Just kidding. It doesn't have to be printed. You can get these anywhere. You can get it with nothing on them. I just got them from wholesalers, these pads, right? Quarter-inch graph pad. A triangle. That's a 30/60.
A lot of drafting.
Yes, I would. A 45 would do it. Scale rule. These are small scale rules. I got a big triangular scale rule in there. A 7mm mechanical pencil. 7mm, not 5, not 3, not 9. 7mm. This is a $6 pencil. It's got an eraser. But I also require to show up with a vinyl eraser. With those eyes, and as you can see, I've got electric erasers and erasing shields, triangles, protractors. I've got 9 protractors in there.
What's an electric eraser? Oh, well,
Yeah, and the jewels is the vibrator. So with those tools, you can learn to draw to scale, and I really encourage you to draw. Because you build it on paper. And it's a great way to estimate. It's a great way to design. It's a great way to do everything. Who knows what this is? This will break out and calculate and estimate. This is scale. It's for quarter scale. It's a scale wheel. It's for rolling over plans. It gives you quarter scale. So a lot of you guys are going to be in the Thursday night's class. So I'll show that to you then. Why did I come over here? I came over here for something. I want to show you that.
you're talking about drawing.
Yeah, if you can draw it, you can build it. It's something, manual skills, thinking and doing. So that's what prompted that is you can do jobs in construction that are basically mindless. There's lots of them. You know, picking up scraps of wood and pushing a broom and stuff like that. There are jobs that are mindless. There's you know, drywall mud's relatively mindless. You know, it's very artistic. Doing drywall texture, putting in installation. There's a lot of jobs that don't require a lot of thinking. There are a lot of jobs that do require a lot of thinking. Carpentry is one of them. As you become a carpenter and understand what a carpenter does. The carpenter is the one that builds the forms. The carpenter is the one that basically surveys the site, lays out the site, lays out the strings and the batter boards and shoots elevations and grades for the site to start out the foundation of the site. There's a lot of thinking involved. There's a lot of math involved, and there's thinking, you know, there's thinking ahead and how much material you want to get to a job and how to get it there and maximize your time. All that's a lot of thinking. So you don't have to do that initially when you're entry level or you know, as you're working your way up, becoming a carpenter or becoming in whatever trade you choose. If you're going to go into construction trades, there's a lot of just do what you're told, not a lot of thinking. But then at one point, oh crap, sorry. At one point, there's a lot of thinking. There's thinking. This is Mike Canoa. Mike, can you do that? Okay. So can you? So I've got 4 guys that showed up. I gave an offer to. They're on my wait list. And Jim and I want to let them in. Can they just go ahead and sign up? Can we just go online? Oh, just because they're on the wait list. Why aren't they just signed up? Okay. So by giving them the auth code, they can sign up tonight. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Good job. All right. So yeah, just do it tonight. You'll get in and get signed up. Right? As soon as you want with that code. And if you don't, if something doesn't work, call me. It'd be a good time to call me. Usually ever right. That's what happens. You do marry the wrong person for whatever reason. Which is fine. Okay, you guys still with me? Mike, Brandon, Ryan? Who else have I got out there? Can't remember.
Yes.
Ryan, there. Ryan, Michael, Ryan, there. So,
Yes.
are you in Santa Barbara? Yes?
Yes, I do. Yes, I am
Will
actually.
you be able to make it here, or are you gonna be Zoom all the time?
I'll try to take the next bus over there
Where
because
where do you live?
I live next to the city college.
Okay, so you could get here.
Yeah,
So if you can, man, I would
Yeah.
love to have you here. Michael's
I'll-
stuck in Sacramento. What about you, Ryan? Ryan, what's that? Yeah, your mic's not working, bud. Still there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm in Santa Barbara.
So you could make it.
Yeah, I just need to find a ride to get there.
Okay, cool. If you guys can make it, we'd love to have you here. And Brandon, what about you?
I'm gonna be tomorrow. Yeah, there.
Okay, so just putting it out there, if you guys can make it, it would be really great. to have everybody in the classrooms, if we can do that. And again, I'm sorry that you guys have to buy this book. I'm only sorry because it costs so much. That's the only reason I'm sorry. It's a great book. Really, really a good book. Oh, I didn't need to go to that. Did I? Oh, we're just doing the pages. Because you guys won't have that stuff, right? So you're all going to be reading this. We're not going to read it all together, not tonight. We're just going to kind of skim through a little bit. So you're going to learn about economic outlook. Wow. Employment outlook. And by the way, we were talking about this during the break before everybody got back. But if you don't know, this is the time to be in construction. It's just phenomenal how much work there is, how much money people are spending, how many contractors are looking for employees. It's unbelievable. So if you are interested in working in the trades, you should be able to get a job. And if you're having trouble or if you have some questions, just talk to me. See me after, send me an email, and we can talk about it. But there's a lot of demand for workers out there. And like I said, John just got hired on. Now, John's an anomaly. He's super well tooled and, in a construction family, and he came here with skills. So he wasn't just like an entry-level guy. They said, "Oh, we'll pay 120 grand a year. Can you run this $10 million job?" It didn't happen that way. He has some chops. But there's a guy named Alec Beloin. I don't know if any of you know him, but he's been Josh Holhouse's right-hand man since I referred him to him a year ago. He's been, as much work as he wants, and he's in a good position to move up and learn. So, and it's not just through me. There is just everybody I know is looking for work, looking for workers. And if any of you have a sideline as a painter, see me after too, or contact me, all right? I need a painter. I need a good painter bad at my house. And I just haven't found the guys I like are just so busy. They're busy with the guys they work for. They can't do side work for me. And I'm opposed to paying markup. Because to pay you 25, I had to charge you at 62.50, 2.5 times. To pay you 30, I got to charge you at 75. That's so I can pay your overhead, your comp, the liability, the overhead of the umbrella, the organization, administrative, et cetera, and have some profit as well. And the profit dependent upon how big a bite my overhead was taking. And now, pay a guy 50, I got to charge him out at 125. You got 50. That's steep. People are paying it. And, you know, $50 an hour is $100,000 a year. It's not bad money. And you could, if you had a good attitude and a requisite amount of smarts, and I mean, I don't mean you don't have to be a brainiac by any stretch of the imagination. And a willingness to learn and a certain amount of manual dexterity, you know, you could be making that 100 grand a year in 5 years. You could do it. I've seen it happen. Yes.
I was working as a contractor for Cox
Say it again, please.
as a subcontractor.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Cox,
yeah.
and doing side work, running lines. I
Right.
was making $50 an hour
Yeah, for Cox or doing your side work?
as a side work, but
Yeah.
additionally, I was getting like $30 an hour.
Yeah,
for-
from Cox with deductions, but with some bennies too, right? Yeah, so, and the Cox is looking for people.
Yeah, they are.
They really are. And, you know, there's a lot of guys that shouldn't be representing anybody in the public that work for Cox. You know, the guys that are good stand out. So, and really what I found over the years, and it was a good example of it today, is that you are your personality. That's who you are. In case you had any questions about that, you are your personality. How you come across is your personality. Your personality is how you are. So if your personality is friendly and engaging, you're going to do a whole lot better. And if you're not friendly and engaging, think of how you could possibly become that way. Because I was at a job today, and the principal, the one who's, you know, that approves signing the checks, I hate these people. I never want them back. Talking about the company I recommended that got the job. You know, I'm not subbing anything. I'm just, I designed it and I said I would do project management, and then stepped way back because they said, why should we have to pay them to manage the job and you too? I said, fine. And so a couple of things in the job didn't go right. And so I was over there today, just attending to a couple of details with the last few, you know, pickup bits. And she was just going on and on about, oh, it's going to just. And I took the time to listen to her and, you know, I engage with her and make a few quips. And when I left, she was smiling and happy and not all PO'd at the company was doing work. So really, man, it's people do business with people. So, you know, yeah, it's about money. Yeah, it's about doing what you say you can do. But really, it's people, man. It's people. So people skills, really good soft skill. Cultivate if yours are lacking. I have no idea. But let's just talk about the trades here, the carpenter trade. That's what we're talking about. Here's infrastructure work such as bridge and road repairs and major sorts of construction employment. It's true going on here. Working conditions. You know, as a carpenter, an insulator or a drywaller or electrician or plumber, roofer, framer, you got to be physically together. You can't be crippled up. You have to have pretty much need to use all your faculties, and you should have some endurance because it's hard. It's hard work. A lot of times you're working outside, you're working in heat, you're working in for us in the sun. You don't have to deal with the cold and the rain and all that stuff that other people do. But working conditions can be challenging. There's climbing, stooping, kneeling, and prolonged standing requires stamina. You can also work in the freezing temperatures of winter. Really? Yeah, I don't think so. Not around here. And I was, my wife and I were driving back from, I told you I went to see my mentor. He lives in the foothills of the Sierras, a town called Sonora. It's due east of Modesto. Stockton, due east of Stockton. It's about 3,500 elevation, and it was a heat wave. It was 2 weeks ago. We left on a Wednesday. And it was 98 at Frank's house. It was 102 in Sonora proper. It was 108 as we went across the valley, and then it went to 111 in Kettleman City. 1 hour later, in Pismo, it was 64 degrees. That's a 47-degree temperature change, right? 47 degrees. That's insane. Keep banging about these numbers, but I want to give you really what that number is. Because if we were to divide. If we were to divide 47. That's a 42, almost 43% temperature change. That's huge, man. And so we're on the coast. We have this incredible climate that we can work 365 days of the year. There's virtually nothing stopping us from working. So you're in a good spot. Wages are high. Of course, cost of living's high too. But wages are up there. You know, we hire guys at entry level journeyman makers in parts of the country. So job opportunities depend somewhat on your choice of work, but there's building construction, remodeling, maintenance, renovations, prefabrications of buildings, not so much around here. Santa Maria has a truss plant, though. Specialization, related occupations, like for instance, as a carpenter and a contractor, when I did the work, I specialized in handrail systems and staircases, and then curved staircases. So almost nobody's doing curved staircases. It's a super high-end specialty. But man, it ain't rocket science. If you've got good chops and good finish skills, you know a little bit about math and unit rise and run and pitch blocks, you too can do those kinds of things, handrail systems and staircases. And it was, I could pretty much name my price. And I walked into a job, it was a $5.1 million remodel that I didn't get. I thought I was going to get it, but I didn't get it. But when I walked down to the job to look at the house, this was 15 years ago. I was like, oh, look at this point. I've got this beautiful curving handrail and staircase. And I was going, I did this. I had completely forgotten. I'd done it like 30 years previous. So cool to see it. You know, just so I try to communicate a little bit of that. Is one of the things I'm so stoked up about carpentry and construction is that your work product is real in the physical universe. So you guys do papers, right? You do all kinds of stuff online. Your work product is in the ethers. Maybe you print it and it becomes a printed page, but that's your work product. You're probably not going to come back to it in 5 or 10 years. I eat in restaurants that I built 30 years ago. I'm sitting at a desk that I designed and made 30 or 40 years ago. It's really satisfying. It's satisfying in a way that I don't know any other professions that are quite so satisfying. As being a carpenter, building contractor may subcontract various phases of construction. So yeah, that's exactly right. So look at, here's some of these trades, right? What's A? A is the surveyor. What's B? B's got an electrician, right? Electrical trade. C, it's like a construction superintendent. Oh, a cabinet maker. There's a mason, an operating engineer. Those are just a few the trades involved in building. You guys are gonna all read this book. I'm not gonna read it to you. You're gonna read it because Jim's gonna be testing you on it. And we'll be talking about it. We'll be reviewing some of the questions next week before he hits you with that lecture. Estimators. You know, if your bent is if you like math, you have some math skills. Estimating, and if you're taking my Thursday night class, we're going to talk a lot about estimating because estimating is the name of the game. In construction, somebody's got to be doing the estimating. Somebody's got to be doing the takeoffs because as much as we would like to do it this way, we would like to go, yeah, I'll build that room addition for you. We'll start tomorrow. I'll be here with 5 guys and we'll start the demo. And I'll just bill you as we go. How well do you think that flies? Yeah, it doesn't ever, it never flies. Almost never. Here's what it looks like. It's like, yeah, so this is what you want. Do you have a plan? No? Okay, well, when you get a plan, call me. Or would you be willing to pay me to draw a plan? So now we have a plan. And so with that plan, what a customer wants, somebody that's going to pay you to do something, is they want to know what it costs. They want to know what it costs. Everybody wants to know what it costs. And you take a job, you know, a decent sized job, say a house addition, a room addition. It includes a bathroom or a kitchen, which has plumbing. There's a lot of components to bidding that, because what you're saying is that I will do X for X. And you're entering into a legally binding contract that legally binds you to do X for X. And when I say X, that is, I will do all these things. And typically, hopefully, I will provide all the materials and labor to complete the following per plans and specs drawn by, all on the plan, with the following addenda or clarifications. And I'll do it for this amount of money. A finite amount of money, not I'll do it for between 50 and 75, or, you know, I'll try to make it as cheap as possible. No, you got to tell them the exact price, right? You got to tell them the exact price. You got to tell them.
They do change it throughout the job, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and you do. Because what happens in any job, I don't care how good the plans are, or how well thought out the plans are, or how well thought out the job is in the planning stage, there will be changes. And the changes will affect the contract price up or down, and there will be scope creep. So two things affect the price of the job: changes and scope creep. Scope creep is a change, but changes to the plans, and then scope creep is the scope of the job creeps. It gets bigger. It's like, wow, we like this so much, then we want to put some windows here. That's scope creep, right? Changes where, yeah, we bid these cabinets, but now you want to upgrade to a solid raised panel and cherry from a slab face and a paint grade. So it's going to cost X, and there's a written change order, and your customer signs it. Change orders are the biggest nightmare for any contractor, and rightfully so. And they're nightmares for owners, and they're endemic. They're just part of it. They're never don't happen unless it's a very small job. Small jobs, you can, I'll hang that door. Great. Actually, the opening was like he said it was. You know, the casing was available, the hardware was there like he said it was, and you got to hang the door and you walked away, and there were no changes. But on any kind of a job that has some scope, where you bring in subs, there's just kind of changes. So yeah, jobs will change, but people want to know the price, and so the price comes from the estimator. That's huge, man, because what that estimator's got to do to give somebody a price is he's got to guess, he or she has to guess at what it's going to cost. Now, those guesses are educated, and as far as the takeoff goes, as far as materials that go into the project, you don't have to guess those. You have a plan, you can do a takeoff for every stick in the job, every stud, every plate, every nail, every screw, every sheet of drywall, every sheet of plywood, every door, every window, every lineal foot of casing and baseboard, every square foot of cabinet, every countertop, all that. You can do a takeoff for that. So getting your materials down is a job, and it's all doable, and there's virtually no guesswork. The guesswork is in the labor. Now, there are values for labor, and there's all kinds of programs and construction programs and estimating programs that you put values in. Some come preloaded depending upon where you live, or where you live is a factor, and it preloads values for man hours and what they cost to do the labor. But that's all somebody else's guess about what it should take. How about what it could take? I mean, I've done this a long time. I've bid jobs for 4 hours. It took 16. I've bid jobs 16. It took 4. So it's a guess at how much labor. You know, you try to figure people figure all kinds of ways, but it's basically best guess, but it's part of the job. So as entry level guys, you guys, in whatever trade you go into, you won't have to worry about that stuff. But I'm trying to give you a bigger overview and give you something to shoot for. Because I'm hoping you don't want to just pick up trash on a job site or hand other guys tools your whole career. That's fine if you do, but you won't advance much and you won't make a whole lot of money. So if you want to make some money at this, you want to advance, and the more you know, the more you will advance. Right? Well, happy, and I made really good money, and I never had a plan, ever had a plan. I just basically stumbled my way through and wound up being pretty successful. It's all relative, right? But my kids went to college. My daughter graduated NYU, my other daughter UCLA. I own a house, free and clear. I own all my vehicles. I have a big RV and a big Harley Davidson, as well as a nice truck and a Lexus to drive. So I've done really well. Now there's people that are rich and a lot richer than me, and I don't consider myself rich, but I consider myself wealthy in all the things that count. And I don't have to work anymore. It's just like, oh my God, I got to pinch myself every day I wake up. I don't have to work. I worked my whole life since I was 12 years old. I worked until I was 66. So I worked, 54 years, solid, straight, without a break. Now, I work a lot now, but my motto now is that I work for fun and for free. Now, that's not to say I don't get paid for some of the stuff I do, but it's fun. Like this house I just built for these people, when I met with them after I meet this guy on the golf course, and I went to their house, and this whole thing developed, and I sat down with them, and I said, I gave them a budget, and I said, I'll do your job as long as it's fun for me. The minute it's not fun anymore, I'm gone. And I won't sub anything. I will not have employee one, no employees and no subcontractors. It's like a dream come true for somebody like me, man. But when you get started, if some of you are going, yeah, I want to be a contractor, I want to be a building contractor. You want to be a building contractor, you're going to have employees. So you're going to need to hone your people skills. If they need honing, that's another skill. It's a skill that will serve you well. Supervising people. Time is at 8 o'clock. We've been here for 2 hours. 2 hours. So we don't really have apprenticeship programs around here. I take it back. There might be a carpenters union apprenticeship program, and I think there might be an electrical program, but I don't know anything about them, so I can't really speak to them. But apprenticeship programs are not big around here because this is not a union county, or it's not a union area. Unions are not big around here. It's all job shops, merit shops. I'm anti-union myself. I probably would have been super pro-union back when unions were really representing the low-paid workers that needed to be represented by unions, but that's not the case today. They are just, in my opinion, bloated bureaucracies that don't serve the people that they're supposed to. But that's just my opinion. You may not be right. That's how I feel about it. And this is not a union town, so you won't find a whole lot of union shops. There are union shops here, but most shops are merit shops. Way more competitive that way. Like, they wanted me to hang all the doors at the Bacara. They just hounded me to hang all the doors at the Bacara when they were building. I mean, like doors and windows. And they flew me up to Oregon to look at the Gelwin plant that the doors were manufactured. They wooed me. They tried everything they could to get me to hang these windows and doors. I don't know why they picked on me so much, but my first thing was that it's a union job, and I'm not joining the union. My guys aren't joining the union. They said, pshaw. And they put this union guy on me, and he told me, oh, don't worry about that. You can join and just quit when you're done. I said, well, wait, let me get this straight. So I'll join. I'll have to pay my guys probably another 40% more. Most of that 40% will go to the union's coffers, and my guys will never vest So they'll never get the monies that went to the union's coffers that they're supposed to get on the back end, like 20 years down the line, because they're not going to be union carpenters. And then when the job's done, I'll have to go back to paying them less money. It's like, that's just a real win-win for me, not. So I didn't do it. And I'm so glad. They had so much trouble with the doors and windows there. Okay. So zooming right along here. God, 1, 2, and 3, huh? So here's a bunch of speaking of the devil. Bunch of unions. Skill development, job competency, good reading and comprehension is really good. We'll go over plans at some point. What employers expect of beginning carpenters, we talked about that. Oh. Effective behavior, attitude. Did I say attitude? I did, didn't I? I should have wrote this book. Interpersonal relationships, talked about that too. Cognitive behavior, knowledge of any sort, psychomotor, eye hand, yeah, all good. Conduct, no sexual harassment. We'll have that as a safety meeting maybe next week. It's you know, there's not very many females in construction. There are, but not that many. So there's not a lot of sexual harassment opportunities in construction. Just because of the lack of females, but you still have to be careful. Like as an employer of over 5 people, I every 6 months had to have a training. I had to have a sexual harassment training. That was really fun. It's not fun. 54 qualities. Wow. That's pretty interesting, huh? Have respect, able to measure, carries basic tools, notify superior when unable to report for work, right? Text him, tell him you can't make it. Cooperate, observe safety rules, use safe lifting techniques. We'll have a safety meeting on that. Proper care of power tools, we'll have a safety meeting on that. Company rules and procedures, operate circular cell, we'll have a safety meeting on that. Leveling instruments, report for work properly, rested and ready to work. We'll have a safety meeting on that because no employer that you go to work for can legislate or control what you do on your own time. So in other words, how much you drink and how much you smoke and how much pills you drop or drugs you shoot, nobody can control that. No employer has the right to control that on your time. He or she does, however, have the right to control what you do in those respects on their time. So try not to get loaded when you're working. And if you're a heavy drinker, or if you really like to get high a lot, and you do a lot of edibles, try to eat early enough in the day so that by the next morning, you're not affected by what you take in the night before. But I can't tell you how many times I've been on job sites and have guys just reeking of alcohol. It's alcohol just coming out of their pores, right? It's like, go home, man. You know, you're still drunk. If you were drunk at 2 a.m., at 7 a.m., you're still drunk enough not to be firing up a skill set. So yeah, take good care of yourself, right? Nobody can tell you what to do on your time, but what you do on your time does affect what you do on time someone's paying you. So you'll do better and go farther if you just, you know, try to keep it real and do these simple things and be a good employee, and you will, you know, you'll advance if you want to. And all these things are really good things. Volunteer for undesirable job, perform first aid. We'll have a first aid safety meeting 2, toenail with minimum splitting of good. Caring for extension cords, great. Operate screw gun, apply adhesive. Nobody uses a radar saw anymore. Layout stairways. So we will lay out stairways and calculating and measuring. I don't know if we'll do it here. 54 qualities. Nice. Okay, let's look at some of this stuff. So you guys are you're going to look at all this stuff in the books. You're gonna look at all this stuff in the books. In the book, not the books. The book. Entrepreneurship. Earlier in this chapter, you read that 4 out of every 10 carpenters are self-employed. I didn't know that. Wow. So 40% carpenters are entrepreneurs. They started and operated a business of their own. And there is nothing like it, man. If you've never been your own boss, you're gonna love it. If you ever get there, it's happening. Being a contractor and having employees is a lot of responsibility. And it goes above and beyond just knowing how to do the job. The skills of managing people is something also, again, I want to give you this big view of this thing, this big trade thing, and I want you to shape how you're going to shape your life in your head, because this is the time to do it. You don't have to stumble through life anymore. You can have a plan and execute that plan. And you can be whatever you want. Seriously, whatever you want. This is the land of opportunity, man. You can be whatever you want. Entrepreneurs are willing to take calculated risks. They're innovative, responsible, and goal-oriented. You can teach as a construction career. Let's see what else we got here. So after you guys have all read this, tomorrow we'll go through some, or next week we'll go through some stuff. So apprenticeship. Well, what is that? A formal method of learning a certain trade, such as carpentry, involves instruction as well as working and learning on the job. Who can tell me what an entrepreneur is? Very good. Someone that starts their business. Person who starts and operates a new business. What's an estimator? Somebody that tries to figure out the materials and labor that go into a project. Right? Tradesperson who calculates labor, material costs, overhead, and profit before the contractor bids on a job. What's a journeyman? So that. Go ahead.
I guess is it kind of like try to travel from site to site?
No, but that's
It's a
good.
step after the apprentice.
Yeah, it's good. A journeyman. I love it.
Yeah.
When you are traveling from site to site, you kind of are a
Yeah, no, I
journeyman.
thought it was more like
No, I get it. So a journeyman is what you become
Yeah.
after you graduate from being an apprentice. You become a journeyman, which means you become a full-fledged carpenter. That's a journeyman. A journeyman should know everything there is about carpentry. To call yourself a journeyman, you should know how to form, frame, and finish, which includes cut roofs and stairs. Then call yourself a journeyman. If you can't do those things and you call yourself a journeyman, you're lying to yourself and other people. So journeyman, a tradesperson who's completed an apprenticeship or through experience is qualified to work without supervision. That probably says it right there, or further instruction. Liability, what's liability?
like how much you're responsible for.
Yeah, it's what your responsibility is. So legal responsibility, that's a good one. So all of these flashcards, all the answers are in that book. So just make sure between now and, so Jim will go through this stuff through his orientation with you tomorrow online. And then next week, we'll start actually have the book. So everybody will have the book by next week. So try to get that book by next week. Okay. And if you all are, if any of you are just like, can't get the funds to get that book, you need to let me know. Let me know in private, but let me know if you're just not being able to do it. And we'll figure something out.
So every Tuesdays in person, Wednesdays are Zoom.
Okay. Every Tuesday here at 6 o'clock in person and Zoom at 6 o'clock. on Wednesdays. What's manual dexterity?
It's like using your hands to grab.
Using your hands, manual, the dexterity is being dexterous or being able to use your hands, right? Being able to do things. Let's see what they say. We can look it up in a book, but the ability to efficiently accomplish tasks requiring the use of the hands, which ties in well with our safety meeting. Self-employment is pretty obvious. Let's go to the next one. Sexual harassment. Anybody know what that is? Has anybody been sexually harassed, Jim? I have. Oh my God. I had a secretary. I had to call the police. I had to call the police. She kept trying to get on my lap. She was just drunk, fall down drunk. I had to call the police. And she was gonna go drive home. I had to take the keys away from her. Something like that. So, you know, I never figured that out. Personally, I never figured out how certain guys don't get the message from females. Now, I was never one of those guys, and I'm hoping you all were never one of those guys. But when a woman didn't want to hang around with me or want my attentions, it always became very obvious to me. And if I think a woman doesn't want me around or doesn't want my attentions, then color me gone. Why would you want to be around her? Why would you have to hassle some chick that doesn't want to be around you? It's like, it's a lame. You know, it's just lame. It's totally lame. So try not to sexually harass anybody, please, if you can help it. You can help yourself. And I don't know what Skills USA is. It's an organization that promotes the development of excellence in a variety of occupations. Okay. Apprenticeship, we know what that is, right?
It just looped around.
Say it again.
It just looped around. We're back to the first one.
Oh, we are. Oh, okay, good. Thank you. What is he talking about? Okay, let's see. So I tell you what, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Turn the lights on, please. Get the book, read the book, please. Read the book. Jim wants you to learn the book. And I'm okay with that. The book's got a lot of really good information. And I will be giving you more information too. I'll be giving you some of my own version of information. We'll look at some of my videos, various aspects of the trade. We're gonna have some fun together, and perhaps Lewis and I can come up with something for us to do. A project or some sort. It's got a couple that we're gonna talk about. See if we can come up with something, but be prepared for the next few weeks, just to be here. We'll look at videos. I may be able to show you some stuff, depends on where we're at with Jim. House templates, drawing templates, door screens, cabinets, lavatories, stoves, protractors, French curves, more French curves, more protractors, more house templates. Yeah, so I'm big in drawing, today, CAD is where it's at. Everybody draws CAD. I don't know if they even teach hand drafting. I'm not sure if they do or not. I should ask.
They do a
They
little
do?
bit, yeah.
So have you taken from Arias from,
I'm taking drafting right now.
and she's teaching you hand drafting?
She's gonna teach us a little bit of her, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Basically, the thrust is CAD.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't know what CAD stands for, it's computer aided drafting. pretty much everything is done CAD these days. But I learned to draft by hand, and I am gonna like pretty much teach drafting by hand. And you may or may not go on to become draftsmen/architects, but if you know how to draw to scale, you will know how to read scale. And if you know how to draw to scale, you will know how to draw your projects. You will know how to draw the things that you want to build. And that's important. And then at some point, with any luck at all, I have logo pads I had made. I don't even have one. I have one of my own pads other than a construction pad. So, any questions? Do we have any questions? No questions going in. Somebody must have one question.
Just the Zoom tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Jim's class is just Zoom, yeah. So we do that from home, your car, or wherever you guys do Zoom at. And
Well, that's the same class as this, right?
same class, same Zoom link. Yeah. So this is the lab component. Jim's is electric component. In the lab, we will be doing here, and then hopefully we'll be doing some stuff. I just haven't figured out what yet.
So what if we don't have the link to the Zoom? Because I'm waitlisted, so they can't even see the course.
You're gonna sign up tonight, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as you're in the course, then you can get on the course and I'll get into Canvas and
Okay.
it's under the syllab, no, I put it under announcements in Canvas. But if you remember, I'll go in, if I forget tonight, it probably won't be till tomorrow, but I'll go in and put my phone number in the syllabus. I'll revamp the syllabus so you guys, if you didn't write it down or you lose it, and you want to get in touch with me right away, you'll have my phone number. And then, and I'll make sure you get that Zoom link. But if you're signed up for the class, just look under announcements, click on the Zoom link, should be fine. I made permanent co-host now, so shouldn't have the hassle I had tonight. I couldn't get on either. I couldn't get on. I didn't think I was going to be able to have any Zoom. Oh, hey you guys, how's it going? Good? Good? Are we good over there?
Yep.
Okay. So if there are no questions, then have a great night. I'll see you guys here next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Right?
Thank you.
And then, yeah, call me if you have any questions. Great to meet you all. Get that book. Do we need that?
Where you going, bro?
No, you don't need it. You don't need it. Yeah, if you go on there for that book and you see a $25 book in paperback, that's the workbook. Don't buy it. Just the review questions like that.
Dude, I'm not gonna try it. I don't think I can.
Yeah, they're good right here. Good right here. So, thank you all for coming.
You said you needed a painter?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I do know how to paint, and my dad is a painter, and we work together.
Yeah?
I'm working with him currently, so I don't know if you want.
What's
my
your,
number or something.
what's your name?
Gadiel?
I've got your phone number. If it's the phone number on Pipeline,
Yes.
I've got your phone number. I'm just gonna make myself a note to call you. But actually, give me your number right now, please.
Yeah, 805
Uh-huh.
724 7429. That's my number, and if you want my dad's, because he's like, the
Okay.
main, you know?
Yeah.
His is 760, area code 808-260.
808
2601.
2601 760 area code.
Yeah.
808 2601.
Yeah.
And what's your dad's name?
Fidel, Fidel.
I was just gonna ask, for like future semesters.
Yep.
I'm I wanna get an associate's in construction technology, so I was gonna ask like what classes I could take at the same time that I wouldn't need, like obviously for construction technology 111, you need to take 110 first, right? So
So you need 114 and 115.
Yeah,
You need 110, 111, 114, 115, 118, 116.
okay.
And I think there may be more requisites than that, but do you know Patrick?
No,
Do you have any classes for Patrick?
Okay.
Uh,
this is my only,
Shoot me an email.
Okay.
And ask me that question and
Yeah.
I'll forward it to Pat. He
right,
used to be our chair. He's still one of the instructors and he knows, he'll tell you exactly, because I'd be
Yeah.
failing.
yeah, just because I saw online, like the different, there's like the green building class, and then there's like the drawing that you were talking about, so I'd like to see which ones I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
take at the same time. that I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
need.
yeah. Just shoot me an email with that question and I'll
Cool.
get you the answer. I'll
Sweet.
put you to Pat.
Thank you.
Right, for
Have
sure.
you done, have you taken any of the general ed classes,
Uh,
like English, math?
kind of like I did
Science.
last year online, just at home,
Right.
but I didn't do a heavy course load because I was working.
So you have to do all the general ed stuff to get an associate's?
Right,
And
yeah,
then in
yeah,
addition, you have to take the 10 CT classes.
yeah. I was just wondering, like,
Yeah.
if I could take
There's
110
three.
and 117 at the same time, or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it was.
Yeah, you can take them out of order.
Okay,
And there's three running right now this semester that you can
Cool.
take at the same time.
Yeah, and hopefully the 114, you don't take 114 and 115 out of order, but I've had to do that too, so
Okay.
it all works out. We made it work.
okay, cool. Thank you.
You bet.
See you next week.
I never did finish my thing in grading. Just too much. in there.
Yeah, you were on it.
So tell me, what's the other one?
So we have a garden on campus called the Food Pantry Garden,
Right.
and we have a bunch of fruit trees and 24 raised planters boxes in there. And we're getting it kind of up and running again.
So is it boxes in there?
Yeah,
Oh,
yes. They're already built.
Oh, yeah,
The
okay.
24 planters boxes are already
So
built.
it needs to happen.
There's a bunch of fruit trees that are in fabric pots
Okay.
along the perimeter. And the fabric pots are deteriorating because they've been in them a couple of years.
Yeah.
So they need boxes built around them. And
Do they have to
then,
be built around them, or can the boxes be too big to build a box, bring a box up and plant it in the box?
we could possibly do that. I'm not sure we can pick the trees up though. So you could bring it there and then we could fabricate it around the tree with no bottom.
Let's take a look at it.
Yeah. And then, and the shade structure, we need, like a shade structure to build it.
So let's meet at the campus.
Yeah,
And I'll look at it.
I work there Thursday, Friday, Saturday each week.
Can't do it this week.
Okay.
I'm starting a class when I fly. Tuesday class, so.
Okay.
Next week.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll see you Tuesday, a week from today, and I'll just look at that day.
Yeah, I can give you my phone number and you can just keep me in the loop, because I'm there every week, Thursday,
cool.
Friday, Saturday, so.
I just love Mike, man.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
He's just the best. We've had a variety of chairs, isn't it?
Yeah, I've worked for him for the last 3 years.
He's just a great
Over
guy.
3
I
years.
really like him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's just great to have as a chair.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, I know.
I need to bring my dog so you can meet my dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Bring your dog, even if it's his new dog as well.
Yeah.
As you can tell, right?
I don't know how well they'll be in this environment. I take them to the garden usually.
Okay, fire away.
Area code 949-400-6872. Yeah, John and Alec are good guys.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, I just
Smart.
met them over the summer for their race.
they're smart, both of them are sharp as hell, and good John.
All right, well, have a good one. I'll see you next week.
Good seeing you, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'll see you Thursday, actually.
You will see me the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm for in person.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
I'll do it if I have to. but-
You don't learn as much.
I know, you just, the nuances, it's just, and the thing with me, man,
Yeah.
is that I have to do so much prep to do distance. You know,
Oh.
To come here, I have
Yeah.
to do the prep.
Well,
I might make a few notes, but
for us too, it's like double the amount of work to do the online stuff. Yeah.
ridiculous.
Teachers are giving us a lot more to do.
I'm not gonna be that guy.
Yeah, thanks. Seems like this class is a lot of homework though.
I don't know what Jim's story is myself personally, but
Does he collect it?
does he collect the homework?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay, I'm sure I'll learn
I'm
tomorrow.
anti-homework.
Yeah, me too.
It's like, really?
Yeah,
You spend, it's everything I can do to get guys to commit to this, and then what, want them to commit to something that they're not gonna do.
yeah,
You know, like you take basically 90% of them not gonna do something.
right.
So then you're gonna hound them for a little bit?
I'm taking organic chemistry right now, so
Ooh.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, what is this? What is this homework for this class? Come on. All right, Rodney, have a good night.
Later, you too.
Hello.
Oh, shoot. Hey, you guys.
I have one question.
I'm sorry. I left you guys alone here. Let me get you back to, let me get rid of my pen. Hang on a second. Let me get, okay, it's just me and you. All right. So,
Yeah.
so what's happening, Brandon? Which question?
Tomorrow class is gonna be through Zoom.